Okay, so this game changed my life. Let's get into it. So, back in 2019, a thing happened, and we all had to stay indoors, didn't we? And at first it seemed alright, you know, get paid, stay at home, do nothing. But it was about 3 weeks in, and I used to play Xbox all the time, and after about 3 weeks I got very, very bored of that, so I just stopped playing. But obviously, because we're still stuck inside, you need something to do. So I downloaded this mobile game, as you can see in the thumbnail, State of Survival. Now, anyone that I used to play with is watching this, hello. Write me a comment, mate, let me know how you are. So yeah, we downloaded, I say we, obviously we both downloaded this game, but I downloaded this game, and this isn't like a paid promotion for this game, so I'm not going to talk about this game, but bloody spider webs everywhere here. So yeah, downloaded this game, and it's pretty cool. You'd speak to a lot of people. Obviously they're all in the same thing, they're all stuck inside as well, bored, so you end up just talking to a lot of people. And I would say it was then sort of end of 2020, and my now wife had messaged me, like her alliance wanted to join my alliance, and so she messaged, and we were just talking game related stuff, and not very often, but that is how it started. So we combine alliances, we talk, not often, on and off for a little bit, a lot just game related, and that was on and off. And then as the years went on, we talked a bit more, a bit more not about the game, and kind of life, work, things like that. And it wasn't until, I'd say, April 2022 that we started to talk a lot more, almost every day. And at that point, then we exchanged numbers and started talking outside of the game. Now, at that time, there wasn't a relationship. We were just talking. There was no confirmed committed relationship, but things were obviously moving and things were obviously happening. And obviously I knew at the start of the game that she was living in Russia, and like completely different language, completely different country, and so I didn't think nothing of it. Like, I will just say, when I downloaded this game, for me this was purely because I just wanted something to do, just play a game. There was no intention of looking for any kind of relationship or anything like that. So I just kind of focused on playing a game and just chatting to people, making friends. And so yeah, 2022 April, we start talking a bit more outside the game. And then I'd say we got to about sort of June, July 2022, and we both kind of just sort of spoke to each other and was just like, look, what's happening? Are we going to try and make this relationship work somehow and see where it goes, or are we just chatting? So we both agreed that we'd try, and obviously, considering we both live in different countries, we knew that meeting would have to happen sooner rather than later. So that didn't happen until 2023, but for the rest of 2022 we were then in a relationship. We were talking every day, and things were great. So 2023 arrives, and we decided that in April, so April 2023, we were going to meet in Turkey, just because it's a country that we could both go to visa free, so there's no issues, just kind of meet up there. And then So we decided all that in kind of, I don't know, February, March, booked all the tickets and stuff like that, and obviously very excited about that. And so we met, and what I'll say is, even though we'd been talking for such a long time on and off since sort of 2020, you still, you know, you're both from different countries, you haven't met, and you just don't know whether it's going to work out, but you have to try these things, don't you? And I just remember that I arrived first, got to the hotel and was waiting, and then she arrived, and everything was just normal, natural. There was no kind of awkwardness. And I think what had helped that is we'd spent a long time before the meet really getting to know each other, talking a lot every day, and I think that kind of helped the meet, if that makes sense. So we had a good time in Turkey, very good week. We both knew that this was going to work, this was going to happen. So we decided on meeting again that year, I want to say July 2023, and we met in Armenia. Now this is also another country that is visa free for both of us. Someone's camping here. Talking of camping, I'm going camping next week. If you want to see videos about that, drop me a comment. Anyway, so yeah, we met in Armenia again. Everything was fantastic. We had a really good time, and we both knew then that this was something that was going to be serious, you know. Well, before, yes, we were in a relationship, nothing was like serious, you know. We because obviously before meeting we didn't know whether it could work, you know. You got to take into account the language barrier, the fact that we live in different countries, and obviously with what's going on right now, you know, would I be able to go over there, would she be able to come over here, who's going to move where, and all these different things that you got to think about. So after that meeting, we then decided that it would be probably better for me to go over to Russia to meet again. So this was again in 2023, this was in November. So I'd obviously gone and got the visa. Now, I've never gotten a visa before, and I just didn't know how, I didn't know if it's going to be a difficult process. I didn't know how easy it was going to be. I had no idea, right? I had no idea what it was going to be like. So I've never applied for a visa, so I didn't know what to do and expect. And what I'll say is, well, it's just really easy. It's really, really easy. And if you want to know more about visas and how to get them, write me a comment. If I do see enough comments, I will make a video about it. Anyway, so we meet in Russia, November 2023, and obviously this is my first time in Russia. And what I'll say about my first time is, and I've made videos about this, you can go on look at the channel. I had no expectations, okay, before I'd met my now wife, before, you know, even this whole thing started. I just didn't see Russia as a country that I really want to go to. It was never on my list of countries I wanted to go to. I didn't have any hate for the country. I just was, to me, it just seemed like a boring, nothing country, and I didn't really care about it. So obviously I had no expectations, and I kind of just remember arriving and just thinking to myself, this country is pretty awesome, but obviously it's my first visit, and you know, you're always kind of excited to explore loads of different things. And as you'll see through the videos that I've posted in this channel, I love Russia. It's a great country, and that's kind of why I started this channel, making these videos, kind of showing people the real Russia, if that makes sense, you know, what it's really like, and why you should come along and visit, you know. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So we met, had a really good time. Now with this visa, it's a double entry visa. So I was able to go again in December, and I went again in December, and yeah, so met a few times in 2023, and we kind of was like, you know, even like I said, we were in a relationship and we knew things were going well, but you know, after these visits to her country, we just knew that this was it, you know. This was like the relationship. So we started talking more about like who's moving where, like would I move there, would she move here, will she come and visit England? If you haven't seen my video, she will be visiting England. We just got to try and sort that visa out. Just in my way here, it's great. And there's 1 second. It's not usually this busy over here. I was saying busy, there's 2 cars going past. Anyway, so we are talking about who's moving where, who's going where, and we decided that it would be better for me to move over to Russia. Now, I'll make a separate video about that, but I just wanted to talk about how I met my wife, because I know there are some people that probably interested, probably not sure how I done it, and because obviously we're from different countries, so how did that work? How did we meet? Was it online? Was it through friends and stuff like that? So we met a lot of times in 2024. I've made several visits, and if you're new to this channel, what I'd recommend you doing is just have a look through the videos, just have a little look through the catalogue of videos I've got, and if you do enjoy that, just subscribe, and it really helps me out and gives me more motivation to make more videos, and go from there. But yeah, so lots of visits in 2024, and and if you're a long-time viewer, you'll know I've made many visits this year, and I plan to go out again in July. So what's that, 4 weeks away, middle of July, something like that. As I said earlier in this video, I am going camping in a week's time. Okay, now this is in England. I know that this channel is predominantly Russia, and my experiences in Russia, my thoughts about Russia, what I'm doing in Russia, how I'm, you know, all these kinds of things. But like I said, what I like about my channel is I still live here in England, so I can show you things that I get up to here. Anyway, so back to this game. So if it wasn't for this game, or if it wasn't for the thing that happened in 2019, I'd still be here in England. This channel wouldn't exist, and I'd have never met my wife. So, you know, to me, that changes my life completely, you know. And, you know, I always say things in this world happen for a reason, and while that thing in 2019 was quite bad, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be married, I wouldn't have a wife, and my life would be completely different now. So, you know, I know that there are some people out there that will think that I went looking for a Russian wife or something like that, and it just didn't happen that way. Everything, like, it just happened as naturally as it could have ever happened. And you know, for those people out there that are, because like I mentioned in my last video, there are people like, I want to meet a Russian wife, and I want to just let things happen. Don't go looking for something, let it happen. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, and I'll catch you in the next one.